the play-in did keep the last few weeks of the season competitive. It did do that. It eliminated, teams that knew they weren't going to make the playoffs from tanking. So I think that was good. And it even had the Warriors and the Lakers in the 7 and 8 spots playing hard till the end. So I do think that was accomplished, and that's why, like I said, I'd like to see him keep it. But you brought up the Wizards, and, of course, they lost last night to the Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum drops 50. That dude's offensive package, as far as scoring, is tremendous. He can score in any and every way. But Brad Stevens, the embattled Boston Celtics coach, the reward, Rob, for dispatching the Wizards, you get Brooklyn with James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving, and Blake Griffin. And here is what Brad Stevens said about the upcoming matchup.
I mean, those guys are the best of the best. And, going into that, if I'm a fan, and just a general fan of the NBA, I have a hard time seeing them lose. So we're going to have to play great. We're going to have to play great together. And, we're going to have to be really, really sound on both ends of the floor.
Go ahead, Rob.
I don't like it. I think it's just coach speak. I don't know if he's trying to give his team an out or whatever, that he doesn't think they can win. I just hate when coaches do that. We already know that they're talented. That's why there are upsets in sports, Chris. The greatest moments in sports are upsets. Hello, Brad Stevens. Have you ever heard of an upset? Don't make it like we look at a roster and we look at the team on paper and say, whoever's supposed to win, wins. That's not what we do. You're supposed to go out and try to be the team that becomes victorious, even though everything's been stacked against you. Have you ever watched Rocky?
Cue the music, because
what? No.
This is one of your patriotic. I'm surprised you're not standing.
No, I'm not standing. But my point is, this is nonsense. Oh, if I'm just an NBA fan, I want to see the Nets steamroll everybody, including my Boston Celtics team. We're not that good. We can't beat them. They haven't won jack. What have the Nets won? Nothing. The Celtics, Chris, have been to the conference finals, 3 times in the last 4 years? What have the Nets done? 0. Yes, on paper.
But Durant was in Golden State winning championships.
Okay, but on paper, it's all paper.
Kyrie was in Cleveland winning championships.
It's paper.
And James Harden,
you're talking about years ago. I'm talking about now. Stop it, Brad Stevens.
And Blake Griffin was making all-star team. I'm just saying.
Stop it.
I think you are so misreading this, Rob Parker. I mean,
go ahead, make an excuse for Brad Stevens.
No, it's not an excuse. He's not throwing in the towel. In fact, I think it's a little bit of strategy going on. Brad Stevens is softening up, buttering up the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, God, Chris, come on, man. Stop.
Yeah. KD, just putting it a little bit in your psyche. Oh, let KD and James Harden and Kyrie and Blake think, they might think like you. He wants them to think like you. He wants them to hear Rob Parker's spiel that you just gave. And he wants them, these are world-class athletes. We talked about this, Rob, you and I. The difference between the gold medal and finishing out of the medal stand in the 100-yard dash, 100-meter dash, is tenths of a second. Tenths of a second. So it only takes a minor, a small bit of slippage, a small glitch in your brain, a small amount of time where you lose your concentration. And the next thing you know, this team that, yes, you're better than, but they didn't slip and you did. Next thing you know, you're in a Donnybrook. You're in a battle. You're fighting for your lives. And that's the seed that Brad Stevens is trying to plant. And on the other side, he's telling his players, the pressure's off, guys. Don't think about it. Don't worry about it. Nobody expects us to win. The whole world thinks we are going to get demolished. The world don't care about your 50-piece, Jason. They still don't think you're as good as Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant and James Harden. Kemba, the guy that you replaced, the whole world thinks he's better than you. Man, he's got a speech for him, Rob. He can step into that locker room come Saturday night and say it's us against the world.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
It is the 15 men in this locker room. No one else believes in us. But guess what? Get Kemba. Guess what, Jason? Guess what, Tristan? I believe. I should have had the music for that.
You should get an Academy Award. And if that's how easy it is for you to go out, coaches would have been doing this for 200 years, Chris. That all sounds good and nice, but it comes down to the talent on the court. And it ain't about winning the locker room or winning speeches. All teams that have been swept, drubbed in the playoffs, swept out of the playoffs, have had a coach telling them that they believe in them. And guess what? It don't alter the scoreboard. It won't change the fact that they got 3 of the top 12 players in the NBA, and they can score at will. All right? That's the facts.
I forgot the last line of my speech, Rob. Nets in 4.
Okay.
No, I might give Brooklyn a game. I don't know if I even give Boston a game.
I can see Boston winning
maybe one. If it goes past 5, I'll be surprised. If it goes past 5, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, but you don't never know. You remember we talked about before, Boston, their first year together, they had 7-game series in the first round.
First 2 rounds. First 2 rounds.
First 2 rounds, right. So you don't know, but I'm with you. I think they're better than Boston. And, Tatum's going to have to score 50 every night. I mean, come on.
And Kemba had 29. So I think it was 29. So he's going to have to be on top of his game.